Hi, have you ever wanted to become a professional chef? Well, neither have I, but if you have, I have good news for you. The good news is that anyone can be a professional chef these days because there are many great cooking videos readily available on YouTube. But unfortunately, this is not going to be one of them. Cooking is a form of art that has been neglected over many years. According to Wikipedia, phylogenetic analysis suggests that human ancestors may have invented cooking as far back as 1.8 million to 2.3 million years ago. However, with the onset of mukbangs and grab food, the emphasis is often placed on the delivery and the actual consumption of the food, which to me is overrated. The entire process of preparing the fresh hot plate of food has now been overlooked, and we are thus in a state of unrest and turmoil. So, I present to you Food Wars, Shokugeki no Wess, because it is time to bring back the art of cooking back into our idle lives. I have decided to call this series Food Wars because rather than the conventional cooking battles that we see on Overcooked, I literally fight with the food as I struggle to keep it in the pan as I stir it and keep my kitchen clean from the carnage. My stomach also puts up a great fight as I attempt to digest the hot mess that I try to call food. This week, on the first episode of Food Wars, Shokugeki no Wess, I will be showing you my exciting journey as I cook pasta for an entire week. Yes, an entire week, because I love pasta and it's my all-time favorite food. Day 1. I started off this pasta journey by looking for filming angles. Cooking while filming is actually really tough to do alone. Took me a while to get them right. Anyway, wanted to cook something simple for the first day. So as you can tell from the ingredients, I'll be cooking carbonara for today while using mushrooms and sausages. Remember to wash your hands, boys and girls. Started by cutting up the ingredients first. Took out my kitchen's trusty blue knife and went straight to it. I'm obviously not a seasoned cook from the speed at which I cut my sausages. Sped it up for you to spare you from the torture. I move on to taking out some of the condiments needed for today. This is followed by starting to boil water over the stove at high heat. Somehow thought filming fire burn is cool. Literally just fire burning. After the water is boiled, I then proceeded to add the pasta into the water. I subsequently transferred the pot to a smaller flame and moved the larger pan over to start cooking the ingredients. After a while, I added the carbonara sauce to the ingredients and gave it a good stir. Once the pasta was cooked, I then scooped all of it out and transferred it to the bigger pot to cook it together. This amount might seem like a lot, but I'm actually sharing this with my bro. I then added some last condiments to it and stirred it further. After a while more, it was finally ready. The result for the pasta turned out great, and I was super happy to achieve something like this just on the very first day. Can't really go wrong with a ready-made carbonara sauce, it seemed. Could have added more sauce to it though to make it tastier. Day 2. I started the day off on the right note by cooking the water first because it actually takes the longest to boil. Confident of my skill from the success of day 1, I decided to become slightly more adventurous. I've always wanted to try making vegan food, so I decided to make vegan pesto pasta with broccolis and an interesting meat substitute I found at NTUC. It was my first time cutting a broccoli and it took a while to figure it out. It was pretty interesting to cut a broccoli though. Felt like I was dissecting smaller trees from a bigger one. I opened the corned meat packaging to have a look at what is inside. And to be honest, I was pretty disappointed as it looked like soft breadcrumbs. I then proceeded to boil everything first because I didn't like my broccolis too hard and was not sure if the mock meat needed more cooking than normal. After a short while, I then scooped them all up as I was afraid of overcooking them. I used the same water to then cook the spaghetti while getting ready the pan for the sauce. Because I was lazy, I did not follow any recipe for the pesto pasta and decided to just wing it. After cooking the garlic in olive oil, I then added the pesto sauce I also found at NTUC. And this was followed by adding back the broccoli and the breadcrumbs into the pan. After stirring it for a little while, I decided to give it a taste. Absolutely hated it. Not sure if it's because I cooked it wrong or if I do not like pesto itself, but it tasted horrible. Decided to add the pasta anyway, as I thought it might somehow help with the taste, but no, it didn't. After stirring it for a while and adding various condiments, I tried it again. But still absolutely hated it. Eventually, I gave up and took out a ready-made tomato sauce, but it had parmesan in it, so it made the dish not vegan anymore, sadly. But luckily I did that because I managed to kind of save it. But because I had to cook it for a little while more to let the tomato sauce mix well, the noodles turned slightly more soggy. When we were eating it though, my bro actually said that he really liked the pesto taste, so I'm not sure if it's just me or I really did not cook the pesto the right way. Anyway, I know to stay away from pesto for now. The corned meat, aka breadcrumbs, tasted like chicken breast actually, and I felt like it could have been a bit firmer. Day 3. I started it off by heading to NTUC to restock on spaghetti first. Still traumatized by the previous day, I decided to cook my favourite form of pasta this time, aglio olio, using mushrooms and scallop I found in the freezer. I then proceeded to cut the mushrooms. In just 3 days, I could actually feel my cutting skills sort of improving. The spaghetti was cooked next. But as I was cooking it, I realized I forgot to cut the chili, so I went ahead to do that off camera. After that, I moved on to cooking the ingredients by adding a lot of olive oil and a lot of garlic, 2 essential ingredients for aglio olio. The mushrooms and chili padi was then added in. This was followed by the scallops because I think scallops cooks the fastest. After the spaghetti was cooked, it was then transferred to the pan and stirred together. And it was done. Today's spaghetti was my favourite thus far as it checks a lot of points off my aglio olio checklist. It is spicy enough, not too oily, and had al dente spaghetti. I then popped the cold one and decided to film myself finishing the entire pan while watching Korean drama. Day 4. I basically got lazy today and decided to buy the bak chor mee from below my house. Honestly, looking at this while editing this video late at night actually made me super hungry, much more than my own spaghetti from the previous days. Day 5. Last day of this nonsense that I put myself through. Can't believe I've ate noodles for an entire week. Anyway, started off by marinating some minced pork. We'll be cooking spaghetti bolognese today. Cut up the leftover sausages from Monday, and some chili padi because I wanted the chili kick in my bolognese. Then took out the ready-made bolognese. This was followed by cooking the rest of the ingredients in the pan. I then added the bologna sauce inside and let it simmer, before adding the spaghetti into it. Give it a couple of quick stirs and it was ready. Honestly doesn't look super amazing for the last day, but it tasted pretty darn good. Super glad I added the chili padi because it gave the right kick to it. Need to work on getting the pasta al dente all the time though, as this one was a little overcooked. Still great nonetheless. And with that, it's the end of my pasta week. Shall summarize my experience this week or the video of me cleaning up place. Cooking like this has always been something that I wanted to do, but didn't really have the time and discipline to do so. I've been eating out every day or ordering in for the past few weeks, which is neither economical and tasty. Even though most of the sauces I used this week were ready-made sauces, I was still quite proud of myself for actually whipping something up and consistently, except for day 4 of course. With my first 2 videos on this channel, you should be able to tell by now that this channel is going in a pretty random direction. But that is kind of what I want because I have always wanted to be myself and just do what I want here. I have a few videos planned and some filmed already, more with regards to dance and my other interests, so if you would like to, please stay tuned. Really happy I finally got off my lazy ass to start this channel. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this really long cooking video as much as I enjoyed making it. Till next time. See ya!